5 things that will ruin a campaign for Dungeon Masters today on Dungeons and Taverns. How's it going, everybody? I'm Saul Sunforge, and this is Dungeons and Taverns. Well, this is video 5 out of 10 that we're making to celebrate the victory on OGL 1.0. So please join us, and if you'd like to, go ahead and give us a subscribe. The first thing that I would probably say that ruins campaigns the most for Dungeon Masters is railroading. Just like any other TTRPG, your players want to feel like their decisions matter. And if you railroad them, that means to them that their decisions don't really matter, and so they can go either way and things will be the same no matter what, because the story and the outcome is already predetermined, and so they're going to feel like they don't affect or live in your world whatsoever. And in that case, why play? That's the train of thought that's going to take place if you railroad your players too much. Nobody's saying that you should not railroad your players whatsoever, and in fact, players in my group demand me to sometimes railroad them. But the thing is, they want you to railroad them without them knowing that you're railroading them. Because if they find out that you're railroading them, then it becomes a problem. So it's a big conundrum, really. It's there for you to solve. Enjoy. The second point would be if the players feel like you're cheating. Now, you feel like as a DM that there would be no way for you to cheat because you're the dungeon master and what you say goes, right? Well, maybe so. But if you exercise your powers leniently, you'll get a lot further than if you overextend and overexert yourself in the use of your powers, bringing down judicial judgment on the players like you're some god from on high. That isn't the role of a dungeon master. Your role is to lead, encourage, and help a collaborative story. You create the world, but your players live in it, and they should be able to influence its changes, its outcomes. Anything in it that they wish to influence should be open. At the same time, though, as a DM, if you ask your players what they want to do next session and they consistently tell you the wrong thing and do something else and they constantly change their minds, that is disrespectful in my opinion to keep doing that, because it takes time to create all these things and enjoyment for you players. And so whenever you say you're going to do something, a good DM is fine with that because they'll create whatever it is you want to do, but just give them the opportunity to create it by being honest where you want to go. That isn't railroading because they are creating the experience as you go and explore wherever you go to explore, but you're able to go anywhere you want. It's just you have to give them time to create it for you. Not all DMs are as crazy as I am and make almost everything that they can that they expect the players to do into a map. I love making maps, though. The bad thing is you gotta fill them up after you make them, though. That takes the longest portion of time by far. The third one I would have to say would be the deck of many things. In my experience, the deck of many things has ruined many campaigns. It is a campaign ender quite often as it is a campaign builder. Now, there's a lot of roleplay options that you can get out of the deck, but there's a few cards there that are just going to end you, or that's just going to make you super rich, or give you a whole bunch of property and make you very wealthy at a lower level. And so as a DM, I caution you to introduce the deck of many things too many times into your campaign, because you're just asking for trouble to happen. Maybe once, possibly twice, depending on how many years you go in the campaign. My campaign's level 1 to 20. The players are level 18 right now. They encountered the deck of many things at level 5 and not since. Will they encounter it again? I really don't know, but maybe. The fourth thing I would say would be scheduling conflicts. Make sure you run your sessions on the same day every week or every other week or once a month whenever you run your sessions. Usually once every other week is the norm, but I like to run them once a week if we can. We used to, and then one of the players also wanted to run their campaign, and so now it's just every other week instead of every week. So the progress has slowed down substantially because it's half the progress. So just be cognizant of that. If you schedule the sessions few and far between, well, you're going to have to make a lot of progress. And if you schedule, the further apart you schedule these sessions, the more likely somebody may not show up just because they lose interest. So you want to find a sweet spot. And if you do schedule them further apart, make sure you do not cancel them. If you as the DM cancel too many sessions, your players will lose stake in your campaign and it's toast. You just finished your campaign. So make sure, ideally, you commit to the same day of the week, around the same time. Make sure that that's available, and that's the day. Or if you go to a hobby shop, you can state this ahead of time. So only people who are available that day and that time will sign up. The benefit of that is you'll be able to have your group for sure then. The bad thing is that they're going to be strangers, so you don't really know what to expect from them as a person or a player. They could be a bad person or a bad player. You have no idea. So it's a little bit of a give and take situation there on what you want. But make sure you make your sessions whenever you schedule them. That is a must. Do not cancel too many of them. Make sure it's an emergency if you do. And what I do if I cancel a session is I give the players experience because they would have been there. So it's like rested experience because it's my fault. If we cancel a session because it's their fault, they do not get experience. And if we cancel too many sessions because of their fault, they get experience decay. The last point I'd say is magic items and favoritism. I'm combining these things because most of the favoritism happens when magic items are given out. And so it's a combination issue. If players see other players getting magic items too many times, especially if it's rewarded to them and not earned through buying it or, a quest rewards where everybody gets it, situations like that, players will start to get jealous of players that have too many magical items. Even if it's one more magic item, sometimes you'll have players who will start to get jealous. Now, that might be a little bit ridiculous, but if you have a player who has a legendary or 2 items and maybe a heroic or 2 items, and somebody else only has an uncommon ring or something like that, that shows clear favoritism, and you want to correct those issues as soon as you possibly can. So that was 5 issues that as a Dungeon Master that you may have that will end your campaign. I have a bonus issue, the Deck of Many Things. The Deck of Many Things is something I already talked about in a previous issue, so it's not actually a bonus. I'm leaving this in as a blooper, so there you go. So there's the 5 issues. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, even though I'm not perfect, man, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching this 5th video. We have 5 more. I'm going to try to knock them out before I go to work tonight. So I may not be able to sleep before work because my daughter also has school in 5 hours and I homeschool her. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I won't be getting any sleep, but I promised you 10 and you're getting 10. Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe and tell a friend.